As an in-state guy, when you know the deal, when you know that Carson is obviously pretty locked in, and then you know that this is setting up to be your opportunity. When it's here, what is the feeling?
It's amazing. Growing up in the state of Oregon, every kid dreams of playing for the University of Oregon, being a Duck. And for me personally, it just means a lot. I learned for 2 years being behind Karsten and having the opportunity to just get better each day. I'm excited for what's to come. It means the most to me. So I'm ready.
Can you outline how big of an Oregon fan? You said everybody in the state wants to go here, but was your family one of those families that came down to Autzen regularly, or what was kind of that support like?
So for me, when I was young, my family was actually a little bit of a Beaver family.
Oh.
My dad was a Duck fan, and so growing up, I kind of saw how he was a huge Duck fan, and that motivated me. So in the recruiting process, I knew that this is where I wanted to go. And so just being from Oregon and everything, all my friends were Duck fans, and it made it really special being here. So yeah.
Long snapping. When did that start for you? What's the process of recognizing that's a path you want to choose? Because it's unorthodox one, I guess, for a lot of guys.
My sophomore year in high school, I was always a center in youth, and our varsity coach went up to me and was like, "Hey, we need a long snapper. We don't really have one. I want you to try and go to this camp." So I went to Rubio long snapping, and I went to a camp, and they rank you and star you, and I realized that this was going to be my opportunity for college, and I fell in love with it. I practiced it all the time and kept going to more camps, and then the opportunities came, and Oregon was where I wanted to be.
Kind of a silly question, but how you need a partner probably to practice long snapping, or how
Yeah.
actually what's the process of getting better at something like that?
My dad was my partner for everything. He went to every camp with me. He caught all the footballs for me, and he's kind of what motivated me to get better. So anytime I wanted to go up to the field, he would catch for me, he'd give me feedback, we'd film. So that was kind of the person for me. Yeah.
Does he have a background in special teams or football at all, or he just do that kind of, or I don't know, what was the process of that?
So he was a receiver for Lewis and Clark College in Oregon. So yeah, so he was the whole reason why I wanted to play football to begin with.
Earlier in camp, Joe Lord was talking about how good at long snapping you are. That a lot of people don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
When you are that talented at something, is it kind of frustrating, or how is that like for you when a lot of fans don't know you, and maybe you are as good at what you do as Troy Franklin is at what he does, but when you don't get the recognition, is that hard to deal with sometimes?
It's not hard to deal with because that's kind of just the name of the game. As a specialist, you don't always want your name, at least for long snapper, you don't always want your name to be called, and that's just part of the job. Is just going out there and executing and having fun with it, really. So I'm not worried about everyone knowing me and stuff like that. That's just part of it, and it's fun. So I love it. Yeah.
What are the things especially over an off season, what are the things you look to improve on? I'm sure execution time, sure, but what goes into that? For the fan who has no idea how a long snapper improves their time, throwing it harder. What do you do to improve that?
Just repetition, consistency, going in the mow, training with the punters every day. We would work on spirals, speed, getting stronger in the weight room. The thing that was huge this year was we had Cody, one of our strength coach, and he worked specifically with the specialists. And just little things like that you don't realize, but it helps with speed and it helps with strength. And not only that, but the other part of it is blocking and getting downfield. As a long snapper, most people don't realize that, but you got to go downfield and make the tackle as well, and it's an important piece that I'm looking forward to add to this year.
Carson show you one of his highlight tackles earlier in his career?
He always did.
Yeah.
He loved talking about his tackles and stats, so hopefully I can add some more to that.
Joe was talking about just the operation time, and you're talking about tenths and hundredths of seconds kind of being important. Is it difficult to see the progress there when it is only a small sliver you're seeing change, or I guess how you measure progress?
It can be, so each day they time us.
Right.
Over time, when you're younger, for snap times they'll be 0.8, 0.78, and then as you get older, you get better, more consistent. 0.7 is kind of what we shoot for. Lower than that, 0.68 is a good area to be in. And then you can chart that consistently, see where you're at, and then for every op time, punt op time, getting down the field, hang time, snap to kick on field goal, 1-2-5 is what we're going for. Just little things like that. It seems microscopic, but in the end of the day, it means a lot, and it matters.
Can you actually tell, if it's a 0.75 or a 0.69, out of your hand, or do you need to, can you feel the difference?
At this point, yeah, because I've realized, when you have a tight spiral and it's perfectly on the hip, you realize, that's going to be a 0.7, that's going to be a 0.68. But when there's a slight wobble, it might not be as fast. Just little things like that you can feel after just so much practice.
Do you have a PR you're chasing?
I don't have a PR I'm chasing, but I know that each year I just want to get faster, stronger, and better at it. So yeah.
you said that you don't always want people to know specialist names. Are there NFL long snappers that you kind of look up to and kind of try and shape your game off of and try and follow?
Yeah, there are some long snappers. I know Luke Rhodes. I believe he plays with the Colts. Is someone that I've looked at a lot. He's a great blocker. And a lot of NFL long snappers have linebacker and tight end backgrounds, and they've got great builds. They're able to get downfield and stuff like that. And those are kind of games I like to emulate. Yeah.